It's absolutely amazing. I'm just tongue-tied just talking about it, thinking about it.
Yes, I'm a favorite now.
Welcome to the Extraordinary Being Movement, where we inspire you to take action, influence you for change, and motivate you for success. This is your host and coach, Len DeCarmine here, and I am excited about today's episode. We're going to be talking about the power of money. People say it's good, some people say it's bad, some people have a lot, some people have very little. Today, we're going to be talking about that with our expert today. But before we get into that, I need to introduce my two favorite co-hosts, the one and only Fred Martinez. Fred, how are you doing today?
Money, 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 money.
I never knew you sung, Fred.
I do a lot of things. You guys don't know what other things I do.
Well, I definitely want to tell you, keep your day job.
I feel like today is going to be a swift kick in the ass in many ways. I feel like we're gonna hear what needs to be heard, and I need some clarity, and I know I'm going to get it today.
Chris, I absolutely love it. I love your passion today because this is a big topic, because there's a lot of changes that have been happening that people need to be aware of. We have already seen the state of economy and how people weren't really prepared for, what happened with coronavirus. And I think it shed a lot of light that Americans just are not saving. They have no backup account, even though we have great people out there telling you to be saving, put 10% of your money aside so you have that rainy day account, but they're just not doing it. So let's not waste any more time, because this is going to be a really powerful conversation today with our guest. I have the one and only Fernando Suarez, a man of the people, for the people, to the Hispanic community. Fernando does he even need an introduction? I don't even know about this. He is a co-founder of the Philadelphia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. He has championed a unity Hispanic business community for more than 30 years, helping many small entrepreneurs thrive and grow in Philadelphia and beyond. In that time, Fernando has played a part in the formation of thousands of startups, ranging from beauty salons and grocery stores to pizzerias and auto dealers. As an accountant, investor, and developer, he's uniquely positioned to educate business owners in how to invest wisely, avoid common mistakes, and make the most of tax breaks, all of which can mean the difference between success and failure. So let's not waste any more time. Fernando, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Thank you, Len. I'm excited. This is a great show. I love it already.
That's great. That's great. I know we were talking earlier before we started recording here, and there's a big shift. There's a shift in money. There's a shift in power. What are you seeing out there, especially in the field that you're in as an accountant, as a financial advisor? What's going on?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you guys heard of the Great Awakening, but that's what's happening. Yeah. And it's not only the political Great Awakening, it's actually the Great Awakening of everything happening with the extraterrestrials and everything awakening with what spirituality is. And everything is connected because we are energy. So that's what I'm really interested in talking about, how money is really energy and how energy is money. So that's the topic of money is unbelievable. I love the topic of money.
Hey, who doesn't love money? Fred was just singing about it.
Yes.
So share us your insight. Let's just jump right into this.
Well, let's start real slow. I mean, how many people listening, you can raise your hand at home, wherever you're at. How many people have actually had a course on money, actually signed up for a course or a college course, a high school course on money? And maybe 1 out of 1,000, 2 out of 1,000 are actually going to raise their hand.
Yeah.
So you ask yourself, why hasn't I been taught about money when you open up your wallet at least 3 times a day? Mm-hmm. Why aren't we taught on how to work with money, touch money, understand money? Ian Rand has maybe like 8 pages on what money really is. And we've never been taught. Just read that. It's enough. We've never really been taught. We got to sit back and say, wow, all this time, and I use it so many times a day. What's going on here? And it's very, very, very simple. There's a simple rule. Every time you either invest the money, waste the money, blow the money, make the money, it's the same exact rule. And we're never taught that rule.
No, I agree. Schools don't equip us, our parents, our family. Very few people know how to manage their money. And except for a lot of people who are wealthy, they know how to do it and they pass it on to their children. And that's why the wealthy stay where they are, and that's why the poor stay where they are.
And right now we're not talking millions or billions. We're talking trillions of dollars of money. That right now, someone like Donald Trump is planning to take over $200 trillion from Wall Street and just change the economy completely. We're talking about Illuminati money. We're talking about Rothschild money. We're talking about huge money right now shifting in a very positive way that's going to change the next 20, 30, 40 years of our lives. But we should individually know about money ourselves and how we're going to, eat our next meal and how we're going to buy our next rental property and how we're going to, whether gold is the right way or silver is the right way. I mean, we could talk about money for 25 podcasts and never run around,
And the one thing that most people don't even get at, the stock market was crashing. This is the time when you should be investing because you're buying things on sale. People are panicking. It's like the reverse logic. People are panicking. They sell. This is the time where you should be buying because now you can be able to buy this particular index fund at a lower cost. And especially if you're using reinvestments, you're going ahead and that money, when they pay out the dividend, it's going to increase more. That's how you end up making money. It's because you're having time on your side. Most people don't realize that it's like, don't work hard, work smarter.
Yeah, and I'm going one step back because we have to start with great basis. And you're saying right now it's time to invest. And I agree with you. There's things that you can. I just went yesterday to my gold store and I asked them, what are you going to sell me this gold bar for? It's not a gold chain, a gold bar. That's a big difference. And I'm going back and I'm saying, this is the right time, and it's always the right time to learn more about money. Because just like in politics, you might be voting left, you might be voting right, but vote your own truth. Find out what's really for sure. Because whether you're on the left or on the right doesn't matter. It's what you believe in, and you got to be looking for that truth. So I'm saying, let's look at the truth about money.
Yeah, because I want to hear more about that because I got taught a lot of things about money, and then when I started going to normal life here in the States, moving from where I came from, it blew my mind how the richest country in the world has probably the least education among its citizens about how money works. I mean, the city of Babylon back in like ancient times, their people had way more understanding about money than, in my opinion, many civilizations till today. But it's almost like there's like a lack of self-respect because people, I feel like it's like you said, Fernando, money's energy. Everything we do is energy. So if you're gonna sit there and turn your energy into representation physically, you need to respect that. And I don't see that self-respect.
That's correct. You would think that a guy, which is the president of the United States right now, you wouldn't see him like adding up these numbers and crunching these numbers and analyzing. He doesn't do that. That's not how he made his money. He made his money by manifesting the money. He made his money by saying, I have it. This is how it's going to be. This is what it's going to look like. And it came. Well, this is what money is, energy. And if you are vibrating at the right level of money, of course you have to learn about it. You have to practice it. You have to exchange it. But in reality, if you want serious cash, you got to vibrate yourself at a high level where it comes to you. I always say to myself, I always say to clients, they walk into the office, I say, what do you want? What are you looking for? What's your dream? And they say, oh, I want a house. Oh, okay. Okay, what are you doing? How are you living your life to go get that house? You need money, right? Well, why would the money come to you? If you're walking in and saying, oh, my bad credit, and I have bad this, and I don't have a good income, and I work too hard. Yeah, the money's not going to come to you. That house is never going to be yours. But you come in here with $0. You say, I want to learn about money, and I'm going to raise my vibrational level to the level where the money comes running to me, literally running to me. You're going to have a house within a year. And it's part of that fun of understanding how money really works and how that house is going to come to you. Yeah, there's laws of the human flesh, which is credit, income, and asset. Okay, let me learn about that. Let me put it in action. But if you're vibrating at the right level, you can have this brown paper bag inside a corner where you have $100,000 cash in it. And if you talk to that money, you say, money, cash, I want $100,000 house. The money's going to talk back to you and say, well, do you deserve it? What are you going to do with that money? Why do you need why do you need me to get that house? And the money's going to continuously ask you questions, say, okay, now I understand you want a shelter, you want a house. Okay, but what are you doing about it? Are you actually picking out the furniture? Are you actually painting it the right way? Are you actually doing the right things? Are you actually fixing your credit? And you're going to say, yeah, okay, the money's going to get closer, because the money is energy. The money has a self-interest in being happy. The actual money has a self-interest in being happy. I don't know how your audience is taking this, but this is what really is about vibrating anything into your life, specifically today, money, where the money says, yeah, I want to be on that team, and I want to be in that house, and I want to be on that block, and I want to have a car that this color with this make and model in front of my house, because me, the money, wants to be there too.
This was kind of taught to me by, I was on a date, and this woman kind of expressed to me about money. She just said that when you see a penny on the floor, most people would not pick it up. That is the universe telling to you, that is saying, here is some money, pick it up. You pick it up, more money would be given to you. So what ended up happening is, I was walking, when we had the conversation on the phone, I ended up seeing like a penny on the floor. I picked it up. The next thing you know, I'm walking into my apartment, get out of the elevator, and what did I find right out there? A dollar bill.
Money doesn't know the zeros. Zero has no value. You just keep adding the zeros, and it builds up. It builds up. When Donald Trump said, I'm going to make a skyline he was looking from Queens. He says, I'm not going to be in Queens. I'm going to be in Manhattan. And I see buildings over there with my name on them. That's how he made his money. That's how we make our money. And that's what we have to learn. We have to study the money. We have to, if you want money in real estate, you got to go get your real estate license. Not for the piece of paper, but for the knowledge. When it comes down, because you're going to be fought and negotiated, and all these deals are going to come to you. Okay, you got to get your license. You should get your license. You don't got to get your license. You should, for the knowledge. Yep. But then you have to say, I deserve that 5-unit rental. I deserve that 5-unit rental. Not because it's going to bring me a lot of money. No, because I'm going to help 5 families. I'm going to help and revitalize the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. That's how real estate really works. That's how anything really, really, really works.
No, I love that. I love how you're talking about that, Fernando. Is an extension. Yeah, you're going to get your license to get the knowledge, but you're also doing it for a bigger why. And that's really where that, I believe, is really where that vibration comes in more powerful to you, because you're just not doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for a greater cause, rebuilding your community, doing things to help your family down the road. It's just bigger than what you are.
And that's what your show is about. I mean, you're about extending that information further and further and further. And that's the future. That's the power that you guys have. And I love it. I love it.
Well, thank you. Fred, I'm sorry I cut you off. What would you have to say?
Oh, gee, I don't know if, in the moment's gone, man.
I'm sorry, buddy.
No, okay, so I was going to go ahead and just say, here's another analogy. If the analogy is, if you have your hand as a closed fist, look at the energy of that closed fist, full of anger, okay? Now, when you open up your hand, what do you feel? A release. And so money will be attracting to the energy of the open hand rather than the closed fist. Because if you put money like that, that means that you're being so tight with the money and that you're not living your life. But when you're open to possibilities. And even if you spend the money, because I know for myself of how I was raised with money, was being very frugal with a lot of different things. Like, don't save up your vacation, because in case you get laid off, you have the weeks or whatever vacation that could be used for more of a severance pay type of thing, and not really utilizing that time and having that experience. I've now looked at things a little different about money, because yes, you need to save money. You definitely need to do that. But also too, to realize that when you have your end goal of saying, I want to retire, everybody thinks like, okay, I'm going to retire at this age. But what ends up happening is, are you truly living your life? Are you truly having that experience? Because you could be 65 years old and retire, and then you can get hit by a bus. Did you live your life? So the thing is like, do the things that you want to do. That's why you have like 2 or 3 weeks of vacation. Save up the money. You have a goal that you want to go. You want to go to Bali. Find out how much it's going to cost. Start saving that money here and there. And then you're going to go ahead and go on that vacation because you've already put it into place by saving the money. So when you go on vacation, you pay for it with cash. It feels so different. You're walking on that beach, and it feels different because it's not going to come back at you that you're paying it with a credit card. And that's what I see with a lot of people is they tend to always use the credit card as a way of just charging every single thing. But when the shit hits the fan and they lose their job, then everything falls apart because they're just charging their life instead of planning their life, planting that seed.
And that's the real battle that we're having today. Left versus right, deep state versus God. That's the real battle that we're getting awakened from the being programmed. We're deprogramming ourselves right now. It's very quiet out right now. I don't know if you've been listening in the political stage. It's very quiet what's happening right now. And what we're happening is that we're having these Thanksgiving dinners and we're getting red pilled. We're discovering, hey, it's not what the media says all the time, because even the day that you were conceived, people were talking to your mom in a negative way, you're going to come out negative. And from that day on, you're listening to the world when it's not true. When in fact, you start putting in positive energies into your life, you're going to start dreaming all these things and start acting these things. All of a sudden, whatever you wish for is going to be coming to you. All that money, all that education is going to be coming to you. Meanwhile, one of my favorite sayings is, while waiting for the future, become prepared for it. So I invite everyone to look up the Rule 72. I don't know how many people you guys know the Rule 72. Some people know it, some people don't. Most people have never heard of it. Well, the deep state, the people that are really running the world, it's really interesting on who the people who run the world. All they did was send their sons to go learn about money. That's all they did. They went to one college. They all learned, 5 kids, the Rothschilds, went and they learned about money, and then they spread out to New York, London, Switzerland, Germany, and Paris. And they started building on the illusion of money. And all of a sudden now they control the earth. They control the world. It's all this new things are coming out and saying, oh, this is how really money works. We have to learn it in the flesh, and we have to learn it in the spirit, so we understand that whatever we want, whatever money purchases, we can have it just by being in a right energy, in a right vibrational mode.
No, I love this. But for now, I don't know if a lot of people understand this vibration. Like, how do you start that? Like, where do you truly begin? Understand money, get this vibration. Like, what is the process to you on how about going about doing that?
Okay, well, I once wrote down a couple things, and I planned a couple things, and they happened to work out, but I didn't notice it that I wrote them down and they worked out. So I was in prison one time. I'm a felon, but I put a property under my name that wasn't mine. And I went in with, I remember, I still have it written down, $671,000 in assets. And I think that I owed like $200,000. So one day I wrote down, how would I spend $1 million? And I wrote it in such very big detail in one piece of paper. And I wrote it in detail completely on everything, how I would spend the $1 million. Well, within 2 years of coming out of prison, I had the $1 million. Everything I wrote down became, I had it in my hand, exactly how to written down. Then I wrote 7 pages. And that was 1999. And I wrote a life 10 years from now. So I wrote a day after it was 2009. And I started writing exactly how I'd wake up, what I'd be feeling, what I'd be wearing. I would walk down the steps. I would get on my exercise machine. I'd watch the Wall Street news. what car I was driving, what I was smelling, what I'd be feeling, how I'd be feeling, everything. It was 7 pages. Literally, before 3 years were over, everything that was on that sheet, which was Mercedes, Lexus. I said I was going to have a 32-unit apartment building. I had a 23-unit apartment building. I had the numbers mixed up. Everything that was on the 7 pages was one day. 10 years later, I had it in 3 years.
Wow.
But I still did not recognize. That happened. It's just like I went out, I came out of prison, I started living, and then it happened. But still, all of a sudden, one day I lost everything. Everything. I mean, I lost my wife, I lost millions of dollars, I lost my reputation, I lost it all. And I started doing research on how the world really works. You know, I started doing research, and lo and behold, I discovered that what I did in prison, which was write down everything that I wanted, acted like I owned it, like I already had it, automatically things would come to me. So now I got a book called The Design Life, and it basically says how my next 48 years are going to be. I'm 57, so that means I got to live to 105. Well, just by printing up my tombstone and putting the date on the tombstone, that more or less guarantees me that I'm going to reach 105 years old. And I write down everything that I'm going to be in those 48 years left. I got it down in detail. Wow. So my lesson to what's going on today is, if you write it down and you believe it's going to happen, it happens. I just picked up a sheet. I wrote it in August 2nd, 2019. And you know me, Len, we were talking then. Okay. And I wrote down how my next wife was going to be. Well, before I did that, I wrote down, I got tired. I'm tired of being single. I can't, so I want a girl like this. And I wrote a girl like this, long hair, black hair, walks like this, does like that. And 3 days later, comes into my office, sits right in front of me, this exact girl, you know? And I'm like, and that by that evening, you know me, Lynn, I was already dating her that evening, right? 3 days later, I said, oh shit, I forgot to write down intelligent. So I learned. This time, I wrote down 43 things on how I wanted it, more exact. And lo and behold, I now have that girl. Exactly how those 43, I mean, to the T. So right now, I just wrote down how I'm going to have $15 million within 1 year. That's my next vibration. And what it is as long as we're vibrating to the right level and we're into it, we're focused, we're gonna attract that money somehow. And if we're focused and then we keep looking and looking and looking, that money's gonna come closer and closer and closer. To be in more detail, you remember when you had to dial the radio station to 98.9 or 102.3? All we have to do is dial into the right tone, into the right emotion, into the right frequency, and then we start going, and the world comes right to us. And you're testimony to that. I mean, when I met you, you were a certain way, and now you're this other way, and you know that everything's coming to you a lot faster. So we're a vibration, we're a frequency, we're an emotion. There's an emotional tone scale. Okay, and you're now vibrating at a higher level. You could see it when you talk, even your emails are at a higher vibration. So if we learn to vibrate and actually meditate to the right level, all that money comes to us, all the money.
But don't you also see, what about your belief system? Like, for example, I've never made $15 million. How do I get my mind wrapped around that that's even a possibility for myself?
You have noticed that you've done your steps little by little, and you're now getting more and more income in different little tranches. Sure. You know, Abraham Hicks, which is channeled by Esther Hicks, says, yeah, if you had everything you wanted today, what's the fun of it? What's the fun? But if you start noticing what you have today and saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, you're going to start noticing every time you say thank you from the heart, you're going to start noticing that you do have these little successes, that you're going in the right direction. And eventually you're going to say, okay, this week was $150. Next week was $1,500. The next week is $15,000. And the week after that's 1.5, let alone now we're going to start vibrating at $15 million. And if you start asking for the universe, in Matthew 7:7 says, ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. It's the same exact thing. If you ask the right way, and there are steps to asking, and you start receiving and letting the universe happen, that money is going to come to you in tranches of 15 million. I'm going to show you that a year from now, I'm going to have $15 million. Little tranches at a time, little gratitudes at a time, little happiness at a time. It's going to get closer and closer and closer. I'm even doing it right now. Yeah. This morning I woke up and said, this $15 million. Okay, this guy's going to be doing this. The forklift is going to go over there. The car, I'm going to be driving this. The people are going to be saying this to me. And I actually literally have it written down right here.
Wow.
And I put it in my wallet and I let it go. And I just keep going as if I had it, and it comes. I know you guys walk into a nightclub and you act like you own the nightclub is yours, and you got every girl walking to you because of the way that you are at that moment. And it's the essence of being. It's what we learned at Landmark of the beingness is where everything is at.
Yes. I agree with you. And for those who don't know, Landmark is a personal development program. They're all over the world. Fernando and I actually met there, and it's been an amazing experience for the both of us. Now, Fernando, I've been to your home before. Are you still doing vision boards?
Yeah, more every day. Vision boards. This is my new vision board.
Okay, so you have it as a whole book?
It's a book. It's called
I Am That. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. That I am the creator.
I love it, man. You've definitely grown from that.
If you take a look at Genesis 1:26, God said, let us make him in our image and likeness. He didn't say let me. He said let us. God said it. So if we look in the mirror, who are we looking at?
Ourselves.
We're looking at God's.
That's right.
Okay.
We're in the image of God.
That's correct. And literally, if we are energy and if we are vibration, we're all connected. Mm-hmm. We're all connected. Everyone in this podcast is connected. Everyone in our lives is connected. And if we start understanding that, that's the same thing as money. Mm-hmm. Same exact thing.
I like how you go what you said about that we are the image of God, because my philosophy of the way I look at things is that we started off from a seed and we are made of the image of God. And so when we live our life of God is truth and we're living in the truth, and whereas the devil, of how I grew up Catholic, you see devil is some outside entity, whereas now I believe the devil is within inside. It's the lies we tell ourselves. It's our limited beliefs. It is what's preventing us to getting what we want out of life, because we can have everything. When you kind of look at it as if we're God, we're the universe, we're made by the image of God, we can have everything, and everything's a possibility by just being and living it and appreciating it. Because the other thing that I noticed too is that when you abuse something, you get less of it. So when you abuse money and you waste money on, it could be on drugs, it could be on alcohol, that you're not going to get more of it. But if you take that money and you give it to someone of a need, that what will end up happening is you're going to get more in return from it. It might not be saying you're going to get more of the, like the dollars or whatever. It's the energy you're getting back from the other individuals, how the differences that you're making in people's lives. And what will end up happening is going to manifest into other things because of how the energy, how you're stepping into the world, where then all of a sudden this energy is going to be replicated, and you're going to have more of this money, so then you can feed the other charities, whatever it might be, of trying to help out other people.
Correct. It all comes together. You have a desk behind you. What does that desk mean to you?
It means it's virtual.
I know. But it has a major significance to you.
Oh, of course, everything does, because when you look at it as what we like and what we put out,
so my question is again to you: what does that desk mean to you? What does that conference room mean to you?
It just means meaning of different collaborations coming together. That's the way I look at it. As you look at it as, say, Star Wars as an entity, I look at it as the creators behind it, and just what it represents, where you can kind of look at it saying it's not good, it's not bad, it's just whatever it is.
Okay, so you have people sitting there creating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
It's basically, it's almost like, ideally it would be a round table. That's how I envision everything in life. Like, I looked at it as, you have a round table and there's nobody really that's really in charge. Everybody has an equal participation to the table.
Right. So you like the Knights of the Round Table, and that's what you're attracting every day that you're walking by, because you have that vision board behind you or in front of you all the time. That's what you're attracting. Okay. And you're going to say, but I don't got the $2,000 table yet. Believe me, it's going to walk into your office and say, you know what? I got this table I'm not using. Would you mind taking it away from me? That's how it works. And all of a sudden you got the table. But if you if you start envisioning all the people that are really going to be there, all of a sudden, as soon as you got that table, people are going to come to the table because they're all in your vision. Okay? You're attracting these people just like the money, and the money will come. It will come. Yes, you got to have substance in that table. Yes, you have to have good creative ideas. Yes, you have to have good reasoning for it. What are you going to do with that table? What are you going to create with that table? If it's for the good of mankind, everything's going to come to you.
Yeah.
It's like you have to put your energy into it, but you also have to put in the effort into it, because if you're just wishing for it, it's just a wish, because you're not putting any energy behind it. And that's the whole thing about work. You're working towards it. You're learning things. If you want to learn anything about investing, you pick out books about investing. You surround yourself with people who do investments. So then you find out how are they doing things, and how can I shortcut things? And so you're getting coaches to get you to that level that now you're playing at a higher level. I know so many people who are Olympians, and they didn't get to be an Olympian or a gold medalist in the Olympics because of they went with their Pee-wee coach. Their Pee-wee coach got them to a certain level, and then they had a higher coach, and then a higher coach. Every coach is going to take you to the next level.
Yes. So this is the second time I invite everyone to understand the rule of 72, because every time we do something with money, either affects you very positively or very negatively. So I invite the audience, and the rule of 72 is very simple. You actually take the interest rate that you're receiving on the investment, divide it by 72. That's how many years it's going to take you to double your money. But if you learn that rule and understand that everything that you do when you take out your wallet, you goes with that rule, you will start accumulating money in many different areas, and you'll make conscious decisions in a positive way, where eventually you'll have whatever you dreamed of.
No, this is awesome, Fernando. We talked about vibration, manifesting. How do you get the right education? I know Fred mentioned about getting coaches and, reading some books, but how else can you elaborate on that? Because there's a lot of people out there selling you different products on how to learn money and how to save and how to pay off your house faster. What is really the best way to educate yourself nowadays?
Wow. This one's a pretty easy one. There's a lot of different ways, many different ways, but I have found that this book here has it all. This book here has everything. It's called the Bible. Okay? The Bible is written by a Kundalini yoga master. It's not written, it's written about a Kundalini yoga master, which is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is also, he mastered what is metaphysics, you know, what Joe Dispenza teaches. On YouTube, there's a tremendous amount of people teaching you for free. You got Joe Dispenza, you got them all. I mean, the one person I listen to every single day for 15 minutes is Abraham Hicks. And literally what you're doing is you're talking to yourself. Someone else is channeling Abraham Hicks. And actually, they're accessing your inner being inside. And that inner being knows everything. I mean, absolutely everything. We literally never die. We're energy that has always existed and will always exist. And as long as, you know, I was talking to the pastor today, you know, oh, Jesus Christ is coming. He's coming. He's coming. And he's like, you know, Donald Trump walks in the door. Okay, hi, you're great. And what's after that? And I discovered this entire week. The and is when we meet our inner being, holy friggin' crap. When we get to meet who we really are inside of us, we're God. We're energy that is connected to everything else, and we know everything. It's just that at this moment, we came into this earth with this, and we got a new hard drive and a new flesh body.
Yep.
But we have everything here, and our job is to remember who we really are. And when we remember who we really are, it goes to our knowledge. This hard drive, and we are all God. And every time that we come back, all we have to do is tap into our love. Through love, we get all the information to understand how it gets done in this lifetime. So basically, looking up in YouTube, all these different people talking about all these new things. Look up the Great Awakening, and there's a chart, and there's a map, and the map is like got about 200 different words on them. And understand what each word is about. And you'll go crazy like, oh my God, this is really exists. Yes, it all exists. And all of it exists in here. All of it. They even took out a book of the Bible. They took it out, which is the Gospel of Thomas. And the Gospel of Thomas are 114 lines of Jesus Christ. Exact lines of Jesus Christ. Except at the very beginning, it explained the context that all these lines, listen to them as if it was energy. As if it was energy, a frequency. And all of a sudden, all those lines mean a lot more. The same words, they just mean a lot more. And the Illuminati people, the people that were enlightened, they said, this is too much power for a human to know. And they took that book out of the Bible. So we just keep looking and looking and looking. You're going to be able to find the research. It's out there. You know, if you just want to contact me, and you might be at this level, I'll give you that level. You might be at this level, I'll give you that level. You might be at this level, I'll give you that level. You know, today I was helping someone, I got him a juicer. You know, we have to take, the number one commandment of God is love thy God with your heart, mind, and soul. And that means love me, and love me with my heart. Love me with my mind, love me with my body, love me with my soul. Love me, and then everything else comes. This is, look for the kingdom of God, and everything else will come. That's exactly what's happening. Did I answer your question?
No, yeah. You put a different, yes, using the Bible as a way to get that knowledge, putting a twist on, you really dive deep to a whole nother level, which really, you know, I mean, I was really focused on what you were saying and like taking it all in, because it was very powerful, you know, and I never thought of it from that perspective. So what you're sharing today is outstanding, because it is giving us food for thought to really look at money from a whole different angle, and to really realize that, you know, a lot of the knowledge that we have is already been printed, has already been put out there. And some of it has been forgotten. Some of it people don't even recognize, or it just doesn't show up for them yet in that way. So that's absolutely, you know, enlightening to hear.
This book's number one subject is reaching the kingdom of God. That is reaching the kingdom of God, meaning you connecting with your inner self. No one taught you that. No one says, read this Bible, you get connected with your inner self. They go in the 50 different circles until you figure it out. Sure. The second most read thing or written about in this book is business and money.
Love it.
Yeah. So everything's right there. Everything we need to learn, just keep reading that book. Of course, there's many other things that you can listen to. You know, I love Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor says, write down 10 different things you're grateful for every morning. Just with gratitude is enough. Just with gratitude. But there you have everything in that book.
Absolutely love it. Fred, did you have something you want to add?
Yes, I do. Okay, Fernando, you have a lot of life experience. So I want to tap into that wisdom that you have and say, what life experience that you can go ahead and give to us and to our audience?
God gave, and I'm sorry I'm talking a lot about God, but in 2013 I did Landmark, and just shortly before that I met God for the first time. I was raised Catholic, high school, grade school, college. Never knew what God was. But when it hit me, it hit me. And, you know, God in the very beginning, he blew air into you. Mm. Do you really think he wasted his air? Do you really think that giving him of himself, he really wasted it on you? Really, everyone listening, did he waste his breath? And every single 8 billion people, he didn't waste it one time. We now have to tap into that. Whether we're in Bangladesh, or we're in Philadelphia or Arizona, we got to discover and say, why did he give me breath? And you're going to discover that, holy shit, he made me the shit. He made me the shit of the universe. You know, a lot of people say, oh, Fernando, you think about everything's about you. And I went for a guilty trip for a few years. And then I discovered, holy shit, everything is about me. And the universe, the entire universe, not the world, the entire universe revolves around me. And if God gave me this breath of air, it was for something really important. And the more that I give back to the entire world, the more that I give back to my daughter, the more I give back to anywhere, the more happier and the more fruitful I'm going to become. So I invite everyone to discover why God gave you breath.
No, I mean, I absolutely love it. I mean, that is a powerful question that people should reflect upon. Because I know a lot of people are lost in life because they don't know what their purpose is. And they really need to reflect on that. Like, what is my purpose? And how can I take these gifts that God gave us, the universe gave us, and really apply it not only to myself, but to others so that we can all benefit? Because like you said earlier, yes, we are all connected. You know, and we have been placed on this earth with this body, you know, with this spirit inside to find our purpose and reconnect with, you know, our hard drive, like you said, because when we come down back from earth, we forget everything. Is the way has been shared with me before, and that we have to rediscover and relearn and learn something new about ourselves so that we can get back to where we belong.
So once we discover why we exist, why God gave us breath, then we're going to recognize that everything is love. And if we discover what we love doing, we do it for free, then all the money comes. And not that money is important, but I wanted to make this podcast. You guys, we talk about, what are we going to do with this podcast? It's going to be about money. This podcast is about, all we're talking about right here is money. Yeah. Okay? It's not the most important thing. It's part of life. It's way over here. But if we discover why God gave us breath, we discover who we are, then at that moment, everything becomes so simple and so fun. And whether we make a $15 million or not, it's going to be awesome because we're doing what we were put on this earth to do, which is love.
Yeah. And people get lost. I mean, I view money as a tool. That's what it is. Having abundance of it, you can use it for good. You can use it for bad, however you see fit. You know, we put so much on having money because that's how we've been conditioned that we need it. And of course we need it to survive so we can buy the basic, have housing, have food and so forth. But like you said earlier, it's energy. It's a lot more than that.
Yes.
And people need to understand that and start leveraging it.
Anyone interested in money, I recommend them to read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Even though it's a simple book, that's all we need. Like, you know, someone mentioned Babylon. The book Richest Man in Babylon is fantastic. Money is so simple. It's so simple. But you do need to read a few books to get started, to get moving, okay, little by little. Robert Kiyosaki, he was famous because of this book, but you don't know the trials and tribulations he got to that book. And now what he does is invest in gold. I mean, everything's connected to money. Everything's connected. It's amazing. So little by little, you start reading and start learning more and more and more. And then you start meeting people like Ken and your staff. You get closer and closer to money, and we eventually start making money just because we're loving what we do.
Another book I would recommend is The Alchemist.
Perfect one. Yes. Yes.
No, I mean, this has been an awesome conversation. I love the energy and the passion that you're bringing to us today, because this is something people need to hear.
That's called the Great Awakening.
I agree.
We're shifting from the third dimension to the fifth dimension, and it's because we're waking up to what things that already existed, but we're moving at a much faster pace.
So moving forward right now, what would be some actual steps people should start doing right now, you know, to make the coming years even better for themselves? What do you recommend?
Well, we need a GPS. We need a map. And the first thing that we need to do is to figure out where we're at. What's our balance sheet look like? Do you got one written down? What's our income statement look like? And we start putting things in order. Okay. When we know, okay, this is where we're at. This is how much money we have, how much money we owe, and this is how it's coming in. Then we have to say, okay, now it's time to dream. How are we going to dream? What do we want? What's going to make us happy? Okay. Well, if we want to reach 25 houses or one mansion, that's our GPS. We know where we're at. This is how we get there. We know where we're at 25 years down. This is how we're going to retire. So we need to create the map. We need to create that pathway. Okay. And then once we have where our destination is going to be, now we have to take the steps back and start going step by step, imagining that we have it, feeling that we have it, and all of a sudden we're on our path. And through that, we have to get educated. So first is take inventory. What do we have? What do we owe? What's bad? What's good? Get it all on the good side. And now start dreaming, and then start believing that you have it, and things will start happening.
Absolutely amazing, Fernando. Very sound advice that people can apply today. And it's great to have you here with us on our show. Now, we are coming to the end here. How can people get in touch with you if they want to learn more about money, about taxes, about accounting, the services that you provide to really help people grow?
I have a website. It's called SuarezOffice.com. Suarez, Suarez, office.com. You can find me on Facebook, Fernando Suarez, and you'll see my picture and just tap on it. That's the biggest way. I will give you my cell, 215-431-4443. That'll hit me directly, and you can ask me any question. My firm really specializes in the core of money, which is let's talk about it. Let's make it legal. Let's make it legal. Let's make, and money has a lot to do with accounting. So the core is accounting and then reporting of it. Yeah. Around that, we have business planning. We have payroll. We actually help you buy and sell your home. Not your home, help you buy and sell your business. So anything related to money and business, we have the core of it, and we know exactly who else does it, and we can make good recommendations for you.
And the one thing I like about your business is that, yes, you teach the basics, accounting, buying some businesses, but you really do dive into mindset with people.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a big issue, that you got to understand that mindset first before you can really help them along the lines in managing their money.
The number one thing that we do is listen.
Yes. We
listen to the client. It's not important what we know. It's not important what we want to sell you. It's important what you want and your dream. We actually don't ask you, what you want your tax return done. We sit down and we take everything off the table and say, what's your dream? What do you really dream for? I mean, why? Because if we don't handle your dream, If we don't take care of your dream, then why are you here on this earth?
True.
Okay, so we ask you that question, what's your dream? And normally they think it's a business dream. So they say, listen, we can help you with your dream. So anything related to your business and money, count with me and our firm.
Absolutely love it, man. I love the passion, the knowledge, the wisdom that you brought today. So we greatly appreciate it. If Fernando resonates with you, if this is somebody you want to get in contact with, please reach out to him. He's a wealth of knowledge. Like I said earlier, he brought a lot today. It can really help transform your life, mentally around money, and also, financially as well. Him and his team have a lot of resources that can really help you out. Now, Fernando, I know you're based in Philadelphia. Can you help people anywhere?
Yeah, anywhere.
Okay.
United States, the tax law, which is a huge part of the practice, is all 50 states, is all exactly the same.
Okay,
and
great.
We can handle it, yes.
Perfect. So make sure that you reach out to him. If you'd like to learn more about Fernando, you can also come to the extraordinarybeingmovement.com website. We're going to have some information there about him, and make sure that you download this podcast, because there's probably a lot of things you may not have heard or really need to listen to again to really absorb and to apply to your life. Now, before we go, I love getting final thoughts from my two co-hosts. Fred Martinez, what's going on in your thoughts right now?
Well, Fernando made me look at things. I went a little bit more inward when he was talking about that we are the world, the universe revolves around us. So I started envisioning that we are all planets. And when you look at the universe, the solar system, that is a mirror of who we are. So we are all planets out there in the world or in the universe.
No, love it, Fred. Thank you for sharing. And Chris,
I want to say thank you, Fernando, because honestly, you kind of put it all in perspective. You're right. Like there's more money now than there was before. It's just now the flow has shifted and it's going in different directions, and we just have to come into this awakening if we really want to benefit from it or not. Because it's like you said, this is 25 years. This is trillions of dollars that's being moved and shifted. And we all feel it. We all see it. You don't have to watch the news to know it. Everything's shifted. And you're right. Now it just means that I need to put out in the universe, ask myself truly, what do I want? Really, what I want for my money, and what do I want for myself? And then and then go for it with the right vibration in itself, because you're fucking right. Jesus, I'm sorry. You come into a freaking interview and you're looking for a job because you want money, and you come in and you're like, money's not coming to you. It's simple as that. Thank you so much.
I know that I grabbed you because you were very quiet the whole time, number one. Number two, the word currency comes from the word current. And as long as we're in a bigger current, we're going to be able to get more currency, okay? We have to flow with the currency. So find the right river on what you want. The money's already there. The currency's already there. The current is already there. And as long as you're flowing in the right currency, the right currency is going to come to you.
I absolutely love it. I just love that, what you just said there. That's amazing. That's a great takeaway to end our show today. So thank you again, Fernando. We greatly appreciate it. Again, make sure you check out Fernando and his company and learn all about him. Make sure you like, share, and visit us at theextraordinarybeingmovement.com. You can definitely download this video on our YouTube channel, and of course on all all podcast hosting sites like iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and so many other great formats. We wish you the best and to your success. And make sure you're building up that money, build up that big savings account, because the future is yours. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.